Hey everyone, so exciting. This is probably uh best case scenario of our season. That the past few games that I was like discussing, there was a time where I'm like, do we just lose so we don't see the Nuggets? And I think that is kind of like a little pushy, little pussy kind of answer. So I'm glad that the Lakers weren't going to settle to be eighth in the seed. And you know what they said? You know what? We're going to come and we're going to come and we're going to come for that Nugget spot there. So I'm excited. Obviously, regular season is different than playoff season. No matter as much as people say that it's not a difference and the players are the same regardless. I personally think we are much of a better playoff team than we are in the regular season. So it'd be interesting how that works. I'm hoping Vanderbilt hopefully comes in at any point at any time because he's a great defensive player, not only defensively but also helping in certain aspects of the offense, whether it's uh, basically passing to other players or whatever the case be, just making multiple opportunities for this team. Gabe Vincent had a really good game last time, made multiple threes, which is interesting, and I'm hoping that it continues into playoffs because that's going to be where it matters a lot. So obviously the time that I feel is going to be the biggest thing, key things that we need to make sure that we have changed in the previous games that we have not figured out or still continue to be a problem is turnovers. Turnovers. You would think that we have a bakery that said turnovers because we are, I don't know where we stand in the standings, but I'm sure we're top 10 in the leading of turnovers. And that needs to be cleaned up because that's an easy thing that allows us to be a better team just by making that change of a mistake. So it'll be interesting um, if we get better in that aspect. So obviously cleaning up the turnovers and on top of that, making sure that the starting five have time together. I'm tired of every game that I've said, pay attention. If we're not paying attention how much this starting five is actually playing together, then we're gonna have the same problem. We're having lineups out there that don't make any sense. I think that if you're gonna have a starting five, have the most time with the starting five as much as possible, and not like short outbursts where they're like 2-3 minutes together in the second half, and then you look at the time of how much every starter player has, and of course they have minutes to show that they were out there, but if you were to put the minutes of how long they were playing together, you'd actually be surprised as games, the whole season, how much they actually had. So it'd be interesting. I'm hoping that's one thing that we can change, is making sure that the starting five do actually have time together. Um, Also, obviously, Vanderbilt hopefully coming back will help. So, and then switching the lineup in a sense of putting players, I think with this Denver Nuggets team, we have not been able to figure out defensively how to stop them, and we've never been really known for our defense. So it's, I think, if you're gonna be a team that is known for something, make it about your offense and just highlight that aspect in the sense of putting your best offensive players there at all times. Okay, if we're gonna have it where we're gonna have to be a shooting contest, then put your shooters out there. Like, it doesn't make sense to have some players out there, they don't really shoot the ball or know how to shoot the ball or do well shooting the ball, and put them out there, and you're just gonna basically make that Achilles heel for us, because not only do we not know how to defend, but we also have people that you put in the lineup as a replacement for the starting five, and they can't shoot. So obviously, who besides obviously the starting five, which is Rui, Reeves, D'Lo, LeBron, and AD, who do you sub them out with? Okay, obviously Hayes has to be minimum. AD subbing out with Hayes minimum. That's like, there's no debating at all of that conversation. And if AD's getting subbed up with Hayes, who's the next person? LeBron, who you're subbing out for LeBron? I like Max Christie a lot. I know that that's not going to happen. Clearly, we've seen multiple games where we're having Prince come out, Gabe Vincent come out. Uh, I don't like. I mean, Spencer Dwitty's not bad. I mean, I don't think he's terrible. I think he's actually probably better than Prince. I think if I'm gonna choose between Prince and Dwitty, I'm gonna put Dwitty. So obviously, um, like I said, Max Christie, Hayes, Spencer Dwitty, and then obviously they're going to want to do Prince, but you have to, if Vanderbilt's there, just don't even. I'd rather have Prince have 0 minutes than put, obviously Vanderbilt. I don't know how well he's been conditioned and how well he's been doing, because I don't think we have gotten an update recently on how his status is and if he's even practicing at this point. But if he is, I would love to see Vanderbilt out there. Gabe Vincent has been doing pretty decent. The last game he got a couple threes, was it 3, 4 threes, which kind of actually helped us win that game. So we are a really good team. Like I've said, this team is basically coach. That is going to be whether or not our coach takes proper timeouts. Like we saw it when we were up by 15-16 against the Pelicans last game. He didn't call a single timeout until the lead was from 18-4. Like, why did we take that long to just call a simple timeout to say, hey, this person is doing X, Y, Z, you're going to switch it up, something needs to be changed, or at least stopping the momentum. If you don't even know what you're doing, just stop the momentum, because the players are exhausted. They're going back and forth, running to one end to one corner of the court to the other, and you don't give them the time to catch their breath. At least a timeout gets them to catch their breath and say, hey, what is going on? What are we doing? Who's missing the coverage here? Okay, like I've said before, it's going to be interesting. This team, the Nuggets, are the championship team. If we're gonna beat them, I guess if we had to choose, might as well beat them early on in the league, and then first in the actual playoffs, versus like later on. Like last year, we were already 3 games or 4 teams that we've already battled to get to that point. We were exhausted team at that point, and even then, we didn't have the lineup fixed at that point. We had multiple players that were not getting the starting time. So now there's no excuse. You have your starting 5 that I think most of people, if not 100% of people, agree on that this is the starting 5 that should be the starting 5. And then you go from there. Obviously, like I said, the subbing and rotations is going to be the Achilles heel of how well we do. You have to stop Jovic in the sense of, if you're not going to be able to stop him, from scoring, at least diminish his role in his ability to have the rest of his team incorporate in his offense. Because honestly, we've had teams that we've beaten that had single players score 30, 40 points, and then they still lose. You know why? Because the rest of their team that they had around them, surrounded them, did not come and elevate and assist with that need of scoring. So if you diminish Jovic's role in the sense of, hey, you know what, we're not going to kill you, but we're going to kill the rest of your team because we already know there's nothing that can stop you, that might be his kryptonite, just diminishing everybody's role. Like I said, Jamal Murray, stopping him. I feel like most players that go against us, or most teams that go against us, their players don't really have this a crazy game, but eventually when they play us, they just seem to go pretty good. Like Corral Pope and stuff like that. He was having like multiple threes every time we played against him, but then during the season he didn't really do much of anything. So like I said, diminishing those other players would probably be your best bet, and slowing down this offense of the Nuggets and explosiveness. And obviously this is going to be an interesting game. I'm nervous. Obviously, this is a really tough team. We have not beat them once this whole season, so that's going to be the line of the whole playoff series. The Lakers haven't beaten them once. How can they beat them if they've never done it before in this whole season? So, like I said, we're a different team in playoffs, so I'm excited. All our team players are going to be kind of taking a break, kind of, rejuvenating, getting that rest that they need, and hopefully the team is actually getting a nice strategic plan to go against the Nuggets. So it'll be interesting to see. Obviously, this is going to be a home game for the Nuggets, another tough thing when you have a crowd going against you. Obviously LeBron James, another game that he's going to have to, at his age of, is he 40, almost 40? The fact that he continues to be so productive at his age and skilled is, impressive. Obviously, I'm hoping that we don't need to rely on him a lot. Obviously, we have a big depth of a roster that we don't need to. So, who do you think you guys have? I'm hoping that we can keep it close. I do not think it is going to be a slam dunk for us in the sense of easy win. But if we do win home, at their home, the first game, that is saying a lot in the statement. So it might be, something to be excited about if we do. Again, tough matchup. I don't know how much I'm willing to bet that we would want to walk away with a win first game home. I do think that we're a different team, so that might be a different case. However, I am not putting my hopes up. I think this team is super tough to go against us, and like I said, it's not that I don't trust the players. I don't trust the coach and the ability to make rotations and especially make them appropriately, especially like I said, putting players that probably would be better off starting in comparison to others. Like I said, multiple players that I like over ones that he's continued to put more minutes for. Like Hayes has been doing great. Max Christie is really great, but we don't see a lot of him. Vanderbilt, if he comes back, I don't think we'll see a lot of him. I think he'll continue to do what he wants to do, which is put Prince out there a lot, and then maybe, Gabe Vincent has been doing pretty good, so maybe he'll continue to do that too. I mean, like I said, that is our Achilles heel, is the rotations when the starting five is not there, and how much actually is time that the starting five play together. All right, guys, have a good one.